Hi everyone. So I did an episode this week on the 4v4 plus 4. I want to do something on here as well just to kind of go through because I feel like it was just really confusing the way that I did it on the podcast. So hopefully it'll make sense. But um, I wanted to start off by showing you what the overall concept is and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I want to be able to play in the other opponent's half. And in order to do that, we're going to use this example with Manchester City of what they're doing. As you can see here, there's pressure on, I think that's Diaz. So what he does is he has a player who we're going to call this the safety zone. So everything beyond half is going to be the safety. And players that are there are essentially there to create space and time. So you can see here that as soon as he makes this pass, he's going to retreat back to get away from this defender to give himself more space and time, which he doesn't have right now. So you can see there, and now he gets that ball, and now he's able to take his time. He's able to look up, and he's able to make a good decision. And what we can see here again is that this player is now starting to go back into that safety position again, away from the closest defender. So if this player ever needs help, he's got someone to support him, right? Yes, we can call that support. You can call it whatever you want, but that's essentially the basic idea of why we're doing what we're doing right now. So let's get into it. Here you can see, I don't think I can make it bigger, but it is what it is at this point. Let's go like that. Okay. All right, so here's the 4v4 plus 4 that I did. I actually did this week in training, I did 5 just because of the numbers that I had. So I actually had like a neutral player playing on both teams. I had one here and then one there. So that really gives me that shape that I play, which is 4 back, 1 center defensive mid, or in my 7v7, it gives me that 2-3 formation. So let's talk about the rules really quick here. So the rules are pretty simple. There are 2 teams. There's a yellow team and a black team. They're both in the A rectangle that I created. The yellow team gets a point every time they pass the ball to the black team. So they get 1 point. They get 3 points if the player in yellow dribbles into the C rectangle, which is a small rectangle that I created in the middle, and makes a pass. So this is the whole idea of, if we go back here and we just look at how they're going to attacking through the wings to try and really penetrate with the wings to make a pass. So that's really what we're trying to get and why we're giving them more points for getting the ball to the wing and moving up, right? So the idea here is this A quadrant and A quadrant over here are essentially us in their half. And what that creates here is the half line. So this B space is our safety space, which we saw back here, which is in our own zone. So the question now becomes, when do we use this safety spot? And the idea is you're going to send 2 players in, and this is essentially creating a rondo. Let's delete this now. We don't need that. So it's a 5v2 with these 2 players being in charge of the black team. So they'll go into the black team, and they can also intercept the passes. So we're able to now keep that ball in here. And what we're looking to do is, if this player feels like they're being pressed, they're going to go into the safety area. This player will now push back here. And what this creates now is a passing lane. So this player has to make a decision. Obviously, they're not going to be here because our goal would be up here, right? Because that's the way we're attacking. So they're going to be goal-sided. Because of that, we've now created a passing lane back here. But let's say this player decides to press. We've now moved this player into what we call a support position. Ball's passed. Now, this is the key here. As soon as this happens, we now are in that safety area. So we get behind to create space for ourselves so that we switch that ball. The other point here is, as soon as the ball goes back, and we talk about why do we go back? We go back to switch. We don't just go back for no reason. We go back because we can't go forward. So if there's no space here, it means that the space is over here. So we go backwards because we can't attack forwards to switch. So as soon as that pass is happening, we want this player to lose their defender. Okay, so if you ended up playing with 3 players here, which I also did again because of the numbers, and this would be essentially playing against a 4-3-3, whereas this would be playing against 4-4-2. That's your difference there. Okay, so that's really what we're looking for. And there are so many things to coach here, right? We can coach the 2 defenders. We can coach the fullbacks. We can coach the center defensive mid into where we want them to be. We want them to be in between the lines. We don't want them here. We don't want them there. We want them playing in between the lines. So when they receive that ball, right? If this would be the forward line, this would be the defensive midfield line, right? That we're playing against, and they wouldn't be able to come up, because if they do, we would have in that 4-3-3 that we like to be in, we would have players there. So if he press, then this player can either make that run, or if they press the wrong way, then we can just pass the ball over. So that's essentially the game. These B quadrants I made into rectangles when I did it. So it's really not the shape here that you see, but this is essentially what it looks like and the reason behind everything that I did. So hopefully you like it. You can subscribe to the channel. Also subscribe to our podcast, which I go into a lot more detail about everything. That's called Coaching Soccer Weekly. Thanks again, and I will see you on the next one.